Brakathe Yahweh, Brakathe Yahushai, Brakathe Yahweh, Brakathe Yahushai, Brakathe Yahweh, Brakathe Yahushai, Call Light Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakal, Kadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders which are a great millstone. Peace and blessing to the sincere Akim pushing his truth and sincerity and diligent putting the videos up throughout the week to feed the sheep. This is McQuad from the Jump in the VA camp. And I'm going to get right into it. So it says, Chief Public Health Officer of Canada appeared in the 2010 documentary to advocate tracking bracelets for vaccine refusinks. What is that? Refusenik, a person in the former Soviet Union who was refused permission to immigrate, and in particular a Jew forbidden or immigrate to Israel, a person who refused to follow. Here it is. This is what it is. A person who refuses to follow orders or obey the law, especially as a protest. So that's what it's talking about. So tracking bracelets for people who refuse to take the vaccine. Now check this video out. Well, first I'm going to read it. It says, clips of Teresa Tam from a 2010 documentary. She says, you could track people, put bracelets on their arms. It says, police checkpoints are set up. Everyone leaving the city is required to show proof of vaccination. Those who refuse to cooperate are taken away to temporary detention centers. And that's what we've been talking about from the elders and pastors on down. That's what we've been talking about for years. This was going to happen, okay? But we were in the form of a microchip, but we knew this was going to happen. And once they can get the vaccines, mandatory vaccines, it's going to be a chip, okay, which might even be tied together. They might even have like a chip, a wrist bracelet, and then upgrade it to a chip, okay? But I'm going to play this.
I think the public has to know this is one of the worst case scenarios in terms of an infectious disease outbreak, in that their cooperation is sought. If there are people who are non-compliant, there are definitely laws and public health powers that can quarantine people in mandatory settings. It's potential you could track people, put bracelets on their arms, have police and other setups to ensure quarantine is undertaken. It is better to be preemptive and precautionary and take the heat of people thinking you might be overreactionary, get ahead of the curve, and then think about whether you've overreacted later. But it's such a serious situation that I think decisive early action is the key.
Police checkpoints are set up on all the bridges, and everyone leaving the city is required to show proof of vaccination. Those who refuse to cooperate are taken away to temporary detention centers.
They can get the vaccines on the table, mandatory. Then they can easily roll in the chip now. They can easily make that mandatory, easily. It says around 80 different groups around the world are currently working on a vaccine for coronavirus, but experts have said there is no guarantee it will even be successful. So they working on a vaccine, and who's telling what's going to happen when they get that vaccine? All these bodies dropping right now, and then you got Kumo. He's talking about this is just for starters, and it's going to be back. So even if it does die down, we open back up, right? And it comes back next year. which they said the vaccine is going to take a year for them to make. If it comes back next year and they get the vaccine, they're going to obviously have, you would imagine, it's going to be mandatory vaccinations. And if you don't take them, I would only assume that you won't be able to go to work, right? And because, yeah, you won't be able to go to work because you can spread it. So you won't be able to go to work. You have to stay home until you take the vaccination, or like they implemented in this video, you be taken to a detention camp until you take it. But either way, it's gonna be forced upon you. But that's just stage one. Okay, that's just stage one. Stage two, we all know the end all. Microchip. Revelation 13:16. And he calls of all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead, and that no man might buy or sell save he that have the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. And this is the RFID microchip, the mark of the beast, which, as you can clearly see, they for a long time they've been trying to implement this chip, but they're having problems with religious refusals. Okay, you got people who are refusing to take certain shots or vaccines because religion is allowing them to say no. So before they can implement the chip, which they need to implement the chip first before they can do this, because somebody can just say we ain't taking the chip because our religion. Now, when they get the religion thing off the table, they can roll in for the next phase, which is going to be this right here, the mark of the beast, which is the RFID microchip, which is definitely going to happen. Thus saith the Lord. It has to happen. And the ones who get it are going to be, they're going to burn forever. I'm going to get it. Revelation 14:10, it says the same. Let me see, back up. Revelation 14:9, it says, and the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast in his image and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, because it says in the forehead or in the hand, but it doesn't matter where you get it. You can't just try to finesse the scripts to say, well, I didn't get it in my forehead or my hand. I got it in my chest, or I got it in my back, or I got it in my bicep. No, it doesn't matter where you get it. If you take the chip, you're finished. It says, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of Yahweh, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation. So when that destruction comes, you're going to have to drink that whole cup without mixture. So when you get a drink, and a mixture is basically to water down or juice down the alcohol, because we know strong drinks are strong. So people add chasers to it, or mixers like a juice. They'll like kind of like dilute it, make it less strong. Well, Yahweh Shemi Al-Shah is saying you take this chip, you're gonna get a full a whooping. I ain't gonna try to get no strikes, right? You're gonna get a full beat down, and it ain't gonna be no mercy on it. It says, and because really when you look at it, taking this microchip is breaking you're piercing your skin, which you're not supposed to do, and also you're worshiping and bowing to another god, idolatry. So Yahweh Shemi Ashah, we know he's a jealous power. So it says, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. Now this ain't talking about the angels and the Lamb down in what they call hell, watching people burn up with a bag of popcorn. The Lamb is Yahweh Shah, who they ignorantly call Jesus, and the angels are going to be with Yahushai when they come back and lay destruction to this place. They're going to be here as a witness when this happens, because there is no burning pit underground called hell. Fire and brimstone is talking about Judgment Day, which is going to be the fire from the chariots and also the ICBM missiles. It's Isaiah 66:15. For behold, Yahweh Shem Yahshua will come with fire, and with his chariots like a whirlwind, to render his anger with fury, and his rebuke with flames of fire. For by fire and by his sword will Yahweh Shem Yahshua plead with all flesh. And the slain of Yahweh Shem Yahshua shall be many. So the slain is going to be many, because you're going to have a lot of people who are going to just die. They're going to die from taking a chip. You have a lot of people just die from just being rebellious. Okay. Just death all across the board. The slain are going to be many. It's going to be more people who gets destroyed than receive salvation. Okay, because they decided to serve the beast. They decided to live their best life. They didn't want to get down when getting down was time to get down. They want to live their best life. They don't want to sacrifice for Yahweh Bashim Yahshua, and it's going to cost them their lives. But with that, I want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh Bashim Yahshua, Bashim Rakal Kadash, Adawan Ratazatam Tamayim Akim Wa Akwafim Yakal. Shalom.